Hello everybody, and welcome to our final presentation. This is our final paper, and this case study that I was assigned was called the Breakup. Ava and Nellie had a history of personal and professional relationship. They met each other while working at another consulting firm, and soon the two of them had ventured out to start their own firm. Everything was going well until about 2 years after they opened the firm, and they started to have conflict. Ava was working her normal 14-hour shifts, and Nellie was more and more absent. She had a boyfriend that lived in London. She started to experience some health issues from so much work, and she started to pull away. And some of the theory that I'd like to use in this video is the human behavior theory, and mainly using the principles of coordination. One concept that they should have considered was gathering data. Another concept that they should have looked at was how technology and interpersonal relationships shape their existing relationships. Also, another concept was to increase interpersonal effectiveness. And lastly, was to consider a strategy for organizational communication, especially during crisis. The behavior theory shifts the structure of the organization, work design, and measurement of the interactions of the individuals and their motivations that influence organizational events. Within this theory, the principles of coordination was discovered by Parker Follett and considered that with the steady, ordered progress of human well-being. Another concept was to gather information or data. You can gather data by conducting interviews and evaluating the responses, especially when negative feedback is given. A third concept is using interpersonal effectiveness. This concept evaluates and determines how a company values diverse competencies by eliminating barriers and supporting positive reactions to employees' differences. And lastly, the concept of developing a strategic organizational communication. Ava and Nellie could benefit from strengthening and developing interpersonal or internal communication. Just a few of the issues was that Ava had avoided most conflict and redirected their focus to do fun things like go to the gym after work and depress, or go to dinner and have a good time. They seemed very comfortable with the blurred personal lines where they would have a lot of fun together, but then when it came down to business, Ava would often cushion bad news or not give the whole information. Nellie seemed to be absent a lot. I don't know, and the case study didn't point to it, but I don't know if Nellie had communicated with Ava what had been going on, both personally and health-wise with Nellie. So it's hard to say what Nellie's actual miscommunication role was here. Colleen was their third employee and seemed to be wanting more money, and Ava would deflect the topic and walk away. She didn't want to deal with it. When Nellie gave her notice that she was going to be leaving the firm, she did give 6 months so that they could tie up loose ends, but Ava wasn't happy with this at all. She was upset that Nellie was even leaving the firm, and how could she just throw away their friendship? In conclusion, Ava and Nellie have been new to the world of business and how to compromise in business works, but that doesn't change the fact that they should consider how to interact with each other, use effective use of technologies, strengthen interpersonal relationships, and develop a strategic communication plan, especially during times of crisis. The results of the data could shed light on how Ava cushioned information or deflected conflict. This also allowed Ava to reflect on the skills that she could work on. It's very hard to self-reflect, though, when you get information that is more or less undesirable. They also need to draw very clear lines between professional and personal relationships, especially when conflict presents itself. Technology and relationships could be very important here. If Nellie was really communicating with Ava, Ava was being open to the communication, they could have figured out a very good work balance that would work for both Ava and Nellie and the firm. For me, I think that it's very easy to get caught up in working with people that are friends. This may be why managers try not to explore relationships with their staff, as it's hard to remain biased when someone you care about is the one that may be performing the conflict or in the middle of conflict. And that is the end of my video.